eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Just In Case. Today, we're building my computer. Woo! So let's kind of go over what we've got here. So to start out, we have the Asus Maximus. What is it? That's an 8. Yep. 8 Hero motherboard. We've got 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM. We've got a GTX 1060 with 6 gigabytes. Super nice. Yep, a Core i7, 6700K, so we can overclock it if we're feeling super brave. Because that's what we do. We have a super overkill Cooler Master CPU cooler that just looks awesome.
Ooh, it's a VIII. I assume that came from some sort of car thingy. I don't know, I'm a nerd, so.
And then our case is the Cougar Panzer Max. We'll look at that a little more, but it's a pretty awesome case.
Oh, it's so sexy.
And it's giant.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't have any problem fitting all this stuff in there.
Size doesn't matter though, people. Remember that. Size does not matter.
And then for our PCU, we went with the Corsair HX 800 or 850i. So, and then just for productivity reasons, I got a multi-card reader for the front, and we'll also be putting in a DVD driver. I know that's kind of antiquated, but I still burn a lot of DVDs for clients. So on the productivity side, that's what we've got going for us. We've got the new Stone MX Master mouse and a sweet keyboard that we'll talk about a little bit later that we got from Mastrop. So let's get into it.
So we're about to unbox the motherboard, the Asus Maximus 8 Hero. We just want to talk about some of the features before we dive in. First one on the back of the box is the Supreme FX 2015 edition. That's going to be the audio chipset on there. Phenomenal from what I've heard. And so Sean is a baller, and he's got a lot of really nice audio equipment already, so this is going to complement his setup amazingly. For the man-child in us, there's the Aura lighting, which is RGB, and you can just change the underneath the Z170 chipset. There's some lighting underneath there, and then the Republic of Gamers awesome little eye thing, that is also RGB as well. And we got some cool Intel Ethernet. Couldn't tell you what that does, but it's awesome because it's Intel. And yeah, we got a ton of power phases, I'm assuming from the picture, so overclocking is going to be good.
Let's take it out. Okay. So another cool thing about the audio setup on this board is in the past they've had issues with, we're opening it upside down too by the way, but they've had issues with some of the other components interfering with your audio. And on this motherboard they've gone ahead and soldered most of the audio stuff separate from the rest of the components, so it really reduces any other noise that's created by the motherboard.
So underneath here we got some SATA cables, pretty sweet. We also have a SLI bridge, and if we ever get too crazy.
Even though our graphics card does not currently support SLI.
This is my favorite part. We got a sticker we can put on the outside of the case. It just looks really cool. That was worth the money right there. Ooh, CPU installation tool.
You're not in the center.
CPU installation tool. Just because, like, if you feel like your hands are a little bit too grubby, I guess that's a safer alternative. I don't know. An IO shield looks quite pretty. Can't tell if that's chrome or if it's more of like a black nickel, but really like it. Some more SATA. Some standoffs. And I don't know what this is. Oh, nice. So this is the front whatever connections for like the USB 2.0, 3.0, the LEDs and all that good stuff. We got some more stickers.
Cable labels.
So, oh! Perfect. Just in case you don't want anybody to interrupt you. More stickers! Alright.
Let's turn this right side up. Move this box over.
Alrighty. Here she is in all of her glory. So, ooh, this is a nice heavy board. So let's flip it upside down. Whoa, it is gorgeous.
Alright, so before we actually start mounting the CPU, there's some components of our CPU cooler that are going to need to go on the back of the motherboard. And so before we seat our CPU, we're going to go ahead and install those parts just so that we have them ready and we don't have to flip over the board again once we've got that going. So now we're to the point, we've got our back plate and our standoffs in for our CPU cooler. So now we can go ahead and install our CPU, which Cody's going to do because he is pro.
I did it once. Good way to tell if you got it in right. You'll see a little golden arrow down in that bottom corner. And then on the motherboard, a lot of the time, you'll see other arrows. Like in this case, there's that big wide arrow. So you just have both the arrows going the same way, and then boom, you know that it's seated in right.
I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use.
Now, normally you'd put your CPU cooler on right now, but because our CPU cooler is freaking massive, we're going to go ahead and seat the RAM first, just so that we can have it in there and we don't have to worry about it.
Baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for
So that took a long time, but we finally got this mounted. Now we're just going to go ahead and before we actually stick it into the case, we're going to plug in our graphics card and our PCU just to make sure this thing posts. So while Cody's trying to get the PCU shroud out,
I bet you there's some.
we did get our computer to post, and now we're going to start
fan
putting
filter.
everything into the case.
In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand.
Alright, so on the back here, we've got a lovely mess that we have been able to manage mostly. Still got a pretty big rat's nest here, but it was enough that we have an opening here and an opening here. If you can see, this case has a divider here for the fan, so part of the air is going to get diverted back to this hard drive here. So later on, we took out all of these holders for SSDs. Later on, I'll get an SSD and we'll put one in there. But for now, we're just going to stick with this hard drive. But yeah, that was pretty much it. We routed some of the stuff up here through the top. Most of this down here is from our power supply, and then both of these are the things that are going over to our motherboard. This is all the controls for the top of the case, and as well as our optical drive and our card reader.
Alright, now I'm going to take you on a tour to the promised land, aka everything that Cody's done. Ooh, are you guys prepared? Because this looks amazing. Oh man, it's hard to get it all in focus. Let's see. Ooh, money shot.
Here it is, completed. Woo! We've been up all night to get this thing done, but it has definitely paid off. This thing is gorgeous. As you can see, the front is very clean, very good looking. I'm super stoked about this. Obviously, because it's my computer, I'm excited about it. But Cody did a great job, especially on the front. He's the one who cable managed everything in the front to make it look beautiful. And all in all, when you look at it, it looks simple, and it doesn't look like there was as much work as there was that got put into it. But everything's up and running. We got everything set up on the computer, and it is beautiful. It works perfectly.
My favorite part about it is this was something that Sean didn't intend to happen, but I kind of threw a Hail Mary about halfway through, but we ended up throwing in these RGB lights all the way through the case, and that really added a ton of pizzazz. Like, really just sexified all this. Ooh, love it. But, so what is probably your favorite thing about this whole build?
I would have to say my favorite thing is the CPU cooler.
This freaking dinosaur.
Which is huge.
Beast.
And if you're planning on putting this in your build, be aware this case is massive and it barely fits. So check the specs on that before you just go ahead and try and put it in your own. But I love it. It's got a lot of good airflow through it. Just even sitting right here, you can feel the air coming out of this thing. It's awesome.
My toes are cold just standing by it. If you could go back, knowing everything that you know now after we got done building it, what would you change about it?
I don't think I would change anything. I spent weeks looking at parts for this and finding out what was compatible and what wasn't. And I am very satisfied with what we were able to accomplish in one night.
Mm-hmm.
So,
no, I think we've improved miles from first build to second build. I feel like this thing is super nice.
So our next big thing to tackle, we will be redoing Cody's computer next. And we've got a big surprise for that one. You guys will be interested to see what we do. So
We might be in over our heads by a mile or so.
And by might be, we are. But we'll make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll bring you more awesome videos. See you guys next time.
Shine through for you.